and welcome back to the channel. So it's been a few weeks since the last video. As you can see, things have grown in. We have our onions and our one set of potatoes, still waiting on the sweet potatoes to come in, and a lot of things have grown in and around in the interim. So starting off this video, I'm gonna go ahead and weed this, lay down some straw as mulch, and then we're gonna get into what will be the bulk of this video, I think. We got a bunch of tomatoes in, peppers, and some other stuff that we're gonna be tilling and planting right here as well. Let's get into it. So not really doing anything in particular here, other than just pulling everything that isn't onions. These are the onions right here, and it's gonna be a battle for sure. I think once we put down the mulch it might help, but I mean really the only way to prevent this from happening would be to put down like a weed barrier, like a plastic or cloth weed barrier, and I just don't really want to do that, so we will be weeding. So here's what I'm thinking. I just picked close to the onions by hand, and because this is freshly tilled, this ground is super loose, I think I'm just gonna rake over the middle sections just to break these up. It's been raining a lot recently, which I think has led to this. I mean, it is spring. I'm gonna be laying straw mulch really just directly on top of the onions and potatoes, and I have a longer hose to water more directly, and I think if I just keep raking these center parts over enough, come summer, come another 2-3 weeks, it's not raining as much, it's really just they're gonna die off is the plan. Fingers crossed. So I'm gonna go grab the rake the center, and then I'm gonna do the rest by hand. So this metal rake is what I'm talking about. And almost immediately you can see that this in fact did not work. The weeds are staying there, and I'm not even picking up the ones that I dragged away, so it did not work. And I did this for way too long, and I'm about to start just trying to kick the weeds dead, which also did not work. So I just tried to finish this off and decided to go back to hand weeding instead. The potatoes are still coming out. I'm not totally sure. Their leaves kind of look similar to a weed. Like this is definitely potato. I mean, these are weeds. That's potato. I don't think this is potato. Yeah, it's not. But it looks very similar. Hopefully more potatoes are coming out. Just not a lot of eyes on them. Just kind of my concern. Just bought like a very overpriced bag of potatoes, I think. So now we're gonna come back and put hay down. So this is just straw, and it's been sitting outside for a little bit, so started to break down a little bit, but I don't think that'll be an issue. And I'm gonna try to keep the straw as tight to the onions as I can, because I don't want anything else retaining water. Like I don't want these middle sections to retain water. I want them to dry out, so hopefully the weeds dry out with them. Let me tell you, I don't know why I thought having this big of a food plot was not going to be as much work, but I am breaking my back here, and I'm not an in-shape person by any means, but this was a lot more work than I had anticipated. So I'm just going to make little nests around these potatoes, I think is what I'll call them. And around the onions, again, are just trying to keep them tight. Don't quote me on any of this stuff as if it's like what you're supposed to do. Clearly, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I don't know, this seems to make sense, right? Unless one of these really likes dry soil. Which I don't think is really the case for like things you eat, like crops like this. Yeah, a lot of these potatoes haven't sprouted yet, if they will ever. Just barely enough. Boom. So this is what I was talking about. You can see on the right 2 lanes are onions, and on the left here, potatoes. So these are strawberries, and I'll put in the video what kind they are, because I don't remember off the top of my head. And hopefully they're the ones that fruit all year round and not the ones that just dump at the beginning. I did not check prior to getting them. I think the ones that fruit all year round are more common, so fingers crossed it's those. And I'm just adding a little mulch in these as well. It's still super wet right now because it's just been raining here in New England non-stop, but it will dry out soon enough, and then this straw will be very handy. From what I hear, these tiered planters are kind of the best for strawberries. You don't really want them on the ground, and they can spread like wildfire, and I don't want this whole thing to be strawberries next year. We got a lot of stuff just now. We got a lot of tomatoes. We got 7 different types of tomatoes. I got 2 cayennes, 1 jalapeno pepper, Brussels sprouts, a rainbow Swiss chard for the lizard, and then we have some sunflowers and lavender. I think we got something else edible over here. That's the peppers. Oh, we got beets. I already tilled out an area right next to the russet potatoes, I think there were, that I was going to put the sweet potatoes in, but I really don't want to have to till out a whole new plot. So I'm just going to re-till the sweet potato area, and I think that's where I'm going to plant all these tomatoes. But right now I'm just going to till a straight line through where I already tilled, just mix up the ground a little bit, and then we're just going to plant them right down the row there. This tiller was a lifesaver. Now with the area that I'm growing in, I probably could have used a larger one, a wider one. Might have been a little bit quicker, but this thing was badass. So what I'm going to do, because the sun, that's south, so the sun kind of stays rotating over there. I'm going to plant the peppers up front, then the tomatoes in the back, because the tomatoes are indeterminate. They're going to grow a lot taller and shade out. I'm scared they'd shade out these peppers if we planted them in front. I'm still a little nervous that they're going to shade out the potatoes for kind of half the day. It's half the day the sun's on that side. But doing it anyway. And we can space these out. What I also forgot we got is Brussels sprouts. We got an Italian eggplant. And we got rainbow beets. So, along with the Swiss chard. Swiss chard we're going to plant right here because that's going to be the lizard's food. So, keep that close to the door. But let's start with the pepper. So we got 2 cayenne peppers and 1 jalapeno. I guess we'll plant the jalapeno front. Not really sure how well it does. So we can space these out. I forgot to mention that my wife and I picked up all of these plants from the North Guilford flower stand. They are like an offshoot of the North Guilford nurseries in North Guilford, Connecticut. And they have a little flower stand that is just absolutely awesome. The gentleman running it is very knowledgeable. We've been going there for years, and they just have really great quality plants. We've gotten their heirloom tomatoes for the past like 5 years running and have had really good luck with all of their stuff. And then from here, we have a whole bunch of different tomatoes. We have essentially 7 different tomatoes. Not essentially. Literally, we have 7 different tomatoes. Black cherry, Berkeley tie-dye, indigo gold berries. We got an early girl, old German, hillbilly tomato, and pineapple tomato. So we only have really one red tomato. We have a few cherries just because they're so prolific. It's really hard to beat cherry tomatoes. We don't really grow too many of like the really large, like the beefsteak tomatoes, because they just, I mean, in my experience, it just takes so long to grow one tomato. I'd rather have 100 cherry tomatoes than, 3 massive tomatoes. And with the tomatoes, we're gonna plant them deep, and we're gonna chop off these bottom stems, these bottom leaves, and plant them really deep, because every part of the stem that touches the ground with these tomatoes will grow roots. So the more you have contact with, the more roots shall form. The cool thing about these tomatoes too is that each one of them came with 2 tomatoes in each pot, so I chose not to spread them out, but you can get twice as many tomatoes as you actually buy. We have 4 or 5 different beet clusters, which I'm gonna plant back here. I guess we'll call it an even 4. And I don't really know how I'm supposed to plant this either. Beets grow in the ground, right? Are they bulbs? Do I sound like an idiot? A whole bunch of worms and larvae in this ground. Hopefully they don't eat the vegetables, but just show that it's very healthy soil, Cover these with straw. Okay, this is a two-handed operation. Like I was saying earlier, right in front here, I'm going to plant the rainbow Swiss chard and best boy. Looks like some sort of vegetable tag. What's a best boy? Let me know in the comments. What vegetable is that? I'm going to plant the Swiss chard right in front here, simply because we will be feeding this to our lizard. We want it close to the door. We've had really good luck with Swiss chard in the past. Just grows really well all summer long. So I'm just going to separate this into 2 different plants instead of having it grouped together here. It's going to be pouring the next few days, so hopefully this don't all get washed out. That'd suck. Finally, we have the eggplant, 24-inch spacing. These things are going to spread, I think. I'll just try to train them long ways so they don't mess with any of the other stuff. Maybe I can grow them on the trellis with these. And we have the Brussels sprouts. Just 2 Brussels sprouts. If I remember correctly, they make like a lot. Only 12-inch spacing for the Brussels sprouts. What I do remember with the Brussels sprouts is they got eaten up when we grew them. We weren't paying attention too well, and they got eaten up by some sort of bug or larva or caterpillar or something. So we got to stay on top of those this year. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe. We have a whole lot more planting to do. It's really going to be a whole lot of corn. We're going to be trying the 3 Sisters method. So we got to get that corn in the ground probably next week latest, because we're going to be direct sowing it. So we're going to put that corn down. A few weeks later, we're going to be planting the beans, which you have 2 different types of beans, and then finally we're going to be ending with squash. We're actually going to be using pumpkin. Not sure if that's like the ideal 3 Sisters mix, but that's what we're going to be doing. Be sure to like the video if you like what you saw. Comment what you think we should plant, what we did wrong, what we can fix, and I'll see you guys on the next one.